about a month and a half until EAFC 24, I decided to challenge myself and see if I could take a team from the bottom to the top. And when I say the top, I don't just mean win a major domestic trophy and one Champions League. I am aiming to win 3 major domestic trophies, 3 Champions Leagues, and any other domestic trophy we need to win as well, all before FC24 comes out. So to start this journey off where any career mode manager starts, we need to build a team. And right off the bat, I can see that we have some decent players in the back line and in midfield who are going to be the spine of the team here. Players like Aaron Hayden, Thomas Connor, Ryan Tunnicliffe, Cannon, Jordan Davis, and goalkeeper Howard look like really good players. And I have noticed that there aren't any wide players in this team, which is going to be an issue because of the formation we will be using. Now, before we do anything else, we have to make sure we get our youth academy set up. And with the funds of Chairman Reynolds, we can do just that and get ourselves some quality scouts who are going to find some gems for us as the season goes on. Now, I decided to play a bit of preseason because I wanted to get a feel for the team, know their individual strengths, weaknesses, and see if the formation I had cooked up in my head would work with the current players. So the formation we went with into this game was the 5-4-1 flat, which utilized the abundance of center backs with Tozer, Hayden, and O'Connell playing, with Ford and McPherson as the fullbacks, and I had to improvise, so Mullen and Cannon had to go to the wide areas and try and do a job for me there. To be honest, no one played exceptional. It was all very average performances all around. The only people I'd say impressed, and I'm using that loosely, will be Mullen, who did okay as a left winger, and Cannon, who was good when I brought him into the midfield to pair with Elliot Lee. So with the preseason done and honestly not having much to say about it, we moved on to the first game of the season against Harrogate Town. Now this match was a doozy. We went into it with a little change in formation because I realized the 2 in midfield was a bit light, and although Wrexham had quantity in defense, I really can't say the same about the quality. So from what I saw in preseason, Ryan Tunnicliffe and Hayden seemed to be the only 2 who could hold their own. So Harrogate Town started this game off with a red card only 4 minutes into the game for a really bad tackle on Mullen, which fortunately didn't take him out on an injury. But we didn't take that opportunity because they ended up scoring the first goal of the game, and I have to say there was a real lack of concentration from Hayden and the goalkeeper Howard there, getting beat at the near post like that. Midway through the first half, Cannon wins the ball with a good tackle, and we hit them on the break with a wonderful through ball from Palmer to find onside Lee, who has to make a brave solo run and ends up finding the net with, quite frankly, a decent goal. And just a few minutes after we equalized, another terrible lapse of concentration from Hayden led to Harrogate Town's second goal to put them in front again. And to be honest, it's not looking good for Hayden in this game so far. As we inch closer to the halftime whistle, Harrogate Town put the pressure on us, and Hayden overcommits to winning the ball and is miles out of position, which allows a Harrogate player to slip in and get them the third goal of the game. Going into the second half, the team morale was not particularly high, and that was confirmed by this horror tackle from Hayden, which was really uncalled for and could have been a red card. This led to a free kick that was really close to going in and went off the bar straight to a Harrogate player who put it in for their fourth. We do get a consolation goal from Palmer, but it isn't enough, and the first game of the season ends in a disappointing 4-2 loss. The performances from Hayden and Howard in that game had me worried, so I had to look for some options in the transfer market, and our scouts identified some targets. For around 900k each for both Ponguris from Panathinaikos and Amir from Ponferrada, I think we've got some good signings on our hands. So they go straight into the first team and make their debuts in the EFL Cup game against Crewe Alexander, and wingbacks Hosanna and Mendy also get some minutes in the game. And straight off, the players want to recover from that horrible loss with a very good attack at the start of the game, and Lee makes a very good tackle to win possession, finding Ollie Palmer, who lays it off to Mullen, who is quite frankly doing well at left wing as he slots it into the bottom corner to give us the lead early on in the game. Maintaining this lead midway through the second half, Pongaris with a bad tackle gives away a penalty and puts a stain on his debut with that yellow card. Amir, on the other hand, now has to deal with the mistake from his fellow debutant, which he does with a good save from the spot. We go ahead on the other side of the pitch to attack with a good cross from Hosanna to find Oli Palmer, who takes his time and puts it in the back of the net to make it 2. Going into the second half, and Ponguris really needs to work on his aggression as he gives away another penalty, which ends up giving Crew a goal from the spot and ruining the clean sheet. But despite that goal, Amir had a pretty good game. As we went up against Gillingham, we looked to replicate the performance against Crew, and that's exactly what we did with this outstanding hit from Mullen to find the back of the net. We went on to double our lead with a goal from Palmer, who took it beautifully to find the back of the net. A little bit of lapse in concentration led to a goal from Gillingham to cut into our advantage and put pressure on us at home. But we don't let that pressure get to us as we go up the other end of the field and find our trusty goal scorer Palmer, who makes it 3 and establishes our lead in the game. Another terrible lapse of concentration though, and the same type of goal is scored by Gillingham to make it 3-2, but that doesn't prove enough as we take the 3 points home. So we go on to get some more points in the league with players like Mullen, Davis, new signings Amir and Ponguris, and Oli Palmer spearheading the team and being important in the games we played. But we were about to face an opponent that would test our ability, and that was Brighton in the Carabao Cup. Now we went into this game with a bit of confidence because we had been playing pretty well, and even if we wouldn't be able to win, we believed that we could give them a run for their money. And with an opportunity from a set piece, O'Connor puts the ball in to find Palmer, and with his 6'5" frame, he connects and puts us in front in the early stages of the game. With a couple of good saves from Amir, we hold Brighton off until the 20th minute when Mitoma and Welbeck linked up to get Brighton the equalizer. Minutes away from the halftime whistle, and Mendy gives away a penalty, and Brighton take the opportunity to go in front as Welbeck puts it in the back of the net to give Brighton the lead at halftime. The second half gets underway and Brighton gets a really good chance to establish the lead. Welbeck hits, Amir saves, Hosanna gets the ball, misses his pass, and Mitoma gives Brighton a 2-goal lead in the match. As the match goes on, we hardly even get a shot off, and it's not looking good for us as Lee misplaces his pass. Caicedo finds Mitoma, who hits a really good one from distance to seal off the game and gets his hat-trick. It was a disappointing result, and the boys have to accept a painful defeat here. We go on to get some more points in the league against Hartlepool and get over the loss to Brighton, but it's as we go into this game against Crew Alexander in the league that I start to notice we might have a problem in our midfield. As you should know, we play a 4-2-3-1, which switches to a 5-4-1 flat on attack and a 5-3-2 on defense. With these variation in formation, it means when we attack, we get vulnerable in the midfield, and initially I didn't think it would be an issue because I thought Lee and Cannon would be capable of holding their own in that situation. But this game against Crew proved otherwise because Lee was mostly out of position in situations where he should have been looking to intercept the ball, which led to passes just splitting through our midfield, and teams began to notice that. As we drop points against Crew, struggled against Barrow in a game where Lee misplaced plenty of key passes, and the matches that broke the camel's back were between Mansfield, where Lee was just nowhere to be found in that midfield defensively, and although he ended up bagging a couple of goals in the next matches, it was in this game against Carlisle where he was really absent defensively and even offensively with some bad passes and absent-minded midfield tracking that I really decided I would need to take a look at some options in the midfield that could do the work. With a couple of mixed results, we head into the FA Cup game against Oxford, where youngster Baird will be on the bench to make his debut. We start this game quickly with a goal from Palmer in the first few minutes of the game. Oxford, however, do go up the other end and force a save from Amir, and this game looks interesting. We hit Oxford on the counter as Lee tries to redeem himself with a lovely cross to find Paul Mullen, who tucks it away to double our lead in the game. It's still early stages in the game as Oxford get a really good chance, but Amir saves it again. And as we look to turn defense into attack, Amir finds Davis with a wonderful throw, and Ryan Tunnicliffe, looking to get involved in the attack, sprints forward, gets the ball, loses it, gets it back from Mullen, finds Palmer with a sweet pass, and bags himself an assist for the third goal of the game. With 15 minutes to go in the first half, Oxford makes a change of strikers, hoping to impact the game, and it takes the new introduction only 6 minutes to make his mark in the game and give Oxford some hope. We maintain the lead for the second half, and feeling confident, we give our youngster a chance to get some minutes under his belt. With 4 minutes minus extra to go in the match, we start feeling comfortable, and maybe a bit too comfortable, as Oxford get another goal to make it 3-2. And it's the same substitution who gets the goal for them. And as if that wasn't bad enough, we end up conceding a late equalizer from the same substitution, who quite frankly was having a really good game. And the game is going to have to get replayed. With 21 games played and us occupying the 5th position in the league, we go on to the Papa John's Trophy, where we qualified for the knockout stages and play Rochdale. And youngster Baird gets his first goal and assist of his professional career, and also his first man of the match. He's absolutely loving life at the moment as we win against Rochdale. Now we get ready for the replay against Oxford, and this time they come a bit more prepared, because with 10 minutes gone in the game, they slip through our defense and get the first goal of the game. We try to penetrate the defense, but it proves to be a difficult task for the players, and most passes just end up getting intercepted. It's a tight game, but just as the first half is coming to a close, they find a way through our defense again and put themselves 2 goals ahead. As we head into the second half, looking for some inspiration up front, Mullen finds a pass to Palmer, who controls it well but doesn't finish the opportunity, and it's really not looking good in the chance creation department, as Palmer has to come off due to being really fatigued, and so does Lee, but not before he gives the team a bit of hope and finds Mullen through on goal, and he takes the opportunity to eat into Oxford's advantage. Again, our forward passes just seem to be that bit off today, and it ends up leading to a defeat in the cup and the end of our journey as well. But there might be a good thing for us, as we can focus better on the league. Unfortunately for us again, we get knocked out of another cup, the Papa John's Trophy, by a late winner from Fleetwood, and it ends our journey in that competition as well. With 26 games played in the league, we managed to get ourselves into second, right behind Mansfield, as we head into the January transfer window, where scouts have recognized Ismail Yusek from Fenerbahce as a fix to our semi-problem in the midfield. I end up getting him on loan to see if he can improve the team before making a full commitment to the player. But with a good performance on his debut, he was starting to impress, and there was an improvement with him in the team as he got his first assist away against Crewe, and later went on to deliver this beautiful lofted pass to Palmer to get his second. With Ismail on the team, there seemed to be fewer holes in the midfield, because not only could he pass, but defensively he was alert too. We gathered a lot of points and actually went unbeaten for the whole of February and March, and with the season inching to a close, we were in a really good position to gain promotion to League One. But there was a problem. The board wanted a title, and they made me aware of that. And with the points we had, we could win it, but Mansfield were not going to give it to us on a silver platter, so we had to fight for it. And what better way to settle the title than to play a 90-minute match, first against second. We start the game off strongly and who better than Ismail to get his first goal of the campaign, and what a time to score it. But Mansfield replied swiftly with one of the best volleys I've seen in a while, and this game is well and truly on. The game is put into second gear as Keller Dunn goes through the defense and gets his second to put Mansfield in front. We go into the second half determined to take the game to Mansfield, and with the pass like that from Palmer, Mullen takes the opportunity to go solo, finish it off, and put us back level. And almost immediately, Mansfield take control of the game with a first-time finish from Keller Dunn to put them back in the lead. With tensions rising in the game and both teams trying to one-up the other, Keller Dunn of Mansfield is fed a pass from midfield and finishes it to make it 4-2. To rub some salt in the wounds of the players, Mansfield went ahead and made it 5-2, damaging the morale of the team. But with players like Cannon, who are always believing, we gotta go back to eat into the advantage, and then the man who ensured that he was going to make an impact, Ismail Yusek, gets on the end of a rebound to make it 5-4. The momentum seemed to be swinging our way. But some misplaced passes and absolute brilliance from Keller Dunn crashed our hopes, and we ended up losing 6-4 in what I can only describe as the match of the season. With 2 games left for us and 1 left for Mansfield, it was all up for grabs now, and we needed to win this game against Barrow to have a chance. And to be honest, I should have played this game. But Asim gives us a draw, and I was about to lose hope when I noticed that Mansfield also drew their last game, meaning we needed to win the last game of the season to win the title. So with my job on the line, we went into the title deciding match, the final game of the season. We had lost Davis due to a red card, so we brought Lee back into the team and moved Yusek to the wings. The game kicks off and we switch to attacking straight away, and this moves Lee to the wings, which I wasn't sure of, but he decides to give me some assurance by getting the first goal of the game, and it's no other than Yusek who provides him with the assist. Gillingham attack on the other side of the pitch almost immediately and get an equalizer, but the boys haven't given up as we go upfield and Lee finds Palmer, who executes a lovely turn to make it 2-1 for us. As we approach the halftime whistle, we get a corner that Lee delivers with precision to find Palmer, who put it in the back of the net to make it 3. We're into the second half now, and Gillingham, trying to get back into the game, get a goal back and make the game just that little bit nervy. We go upfield as well, trying to put the stamp of authority in the game, and Lee, with the cleanest of through ball, finds Yusek, and I have to say that Lee has given me a reason to put him back in the team and play him in the new position as well. And with that, the final whistle goes and we win our first trophy of this journey. Although it may not be a major domestic trophy, in this case a Premier League, it is still one for the trophy cabinet and one that keeps me in a job as well as we go into the next stage of our journey in League One.